Today's review is for Maria of MediEsthetics Group. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through some of the things that I really like about your website, and then I'll offer 7 suggestions for improvement. So the very first thing I wanted to mention is that you've got really easy to follow navigation system, which is great. You also have a call to action, which says request a call, and that stands out from everything else. The only thing is when I click to that page, I was expecting to see a calendar or a form where I can request a call. But when I arrive at this page, it's just got some writing, and you actually have to read to get to where it says click here to set up the one-on-one strategy. And only when I scroll, and not everybody will scroll, will they actually see all your information there. So as I said, you need to follow what people expect to see. And I think seeing a calendar or a form that people can request a call would be good to have at the very top of the page. Now, the other thing that I really like about your website is that you have a blog and it's regularly updated. The last post being in February. So I would have at least 1 month, but at least it's not a couple of years old. I would have at least, if you can, do weekly posts or at least monthly posts, but at least it's this year. The other thing that I wanted to mention is you have frequently asked questions page, which not many websites do. And so sometimes that's the very first page that people will go to have a look at to find out more about your business and your services. And so you do have a frequently asked question page, and you also offer people a way to contact you if they've got additional questions. You have links to social media profiles, and there's quite a few profiles, and your Skype call. So really well done on that. And you have contact details at the top of the page. So if somebody, no matter what page they're on, if they want to contact you, they can do that easily. Now, the 7 suggestions for improvement. When I arrived at your website, I wasn't actually sure what the name of the company was. And reading the domain name, I found it a little bit difficult to understand. Is it MediEsthetics Group or is it MediEsthetics Group? It was a bit of a mouthful, and only because your logo is so tiny and it just says ME, and to me that just means me. I can't read anything else that's on there. So I would recommend that you make the logo a lot bigger and also have the name of the business here. Then the domain name will make a little bit more sense. But just looking at it, coming in fresh, not knowing what you're all about, I found the domain name a little bit confusing. When I arrived at your website, I had no idea what services you offer or how do you work with people. The very first thing I see is a homepage, and I know that's this page, and then it's about me. There's no services, there's no products or anything like that. So I would suggest you insert a services page and have that early on, because that's what people will want to know. But more importantly, your what's called above fold. So as soon as people arrive on your website, the very first screen that they see, they need to know what it is that you do. So having a really good tagline which tells them exactly what you do. Are you a coach? Are you a consultant? Or how are you going to help them? And I know as I scroll down, it talks a little bit more about business and teamwork and strategies and stuff like that. But there's nowhere for me to go to. So I can't click on any of these to find out more details. As I'm scrolling down, I see a beautiful picture, but in reality, this looks like a photo that was taken in the car, because this looks like a seatbelt, and I could be wrong. I think you need to have a professional photo there. And this is fine, just a brief description. But the website really needs to be about what you can do for your customers. There's a lot happening here. So I'm scrolling down. This is a little bit hard to read as it scrolls over that. You're missing images on here. So maybe check that out. And again, there should be more information somewhere that I can click through it to. Um, you mentioned here that you've got real success stories and hundreds of happy clients. And I noticed somewhere that you even talk about 1,000 clients or over 1,000 clients, but there's only a handful of testimonials. So I would recommend that you maybe include a testimonials page and have many more um, many more testimonials. Where possible, get a photo of the person that has given you the testimonial or the company that they're from, just to add credibility to the testimonial. Okay, at the top you have a shopping cart functionality, but there's no button here anywhere that says shop. And when I click on go to shop, let's see where that takes us, because I didn't even notice that before. And that says no products. So that's a little bit confusing, and it leaves people wondering, why do you have a shop? So I would remove it. If you're planning to have a shop, that's fine, but make sure that you've got some products, because otherwise your website looks unfinished. And as I mentioned, your website is lacking credibility. You do have a handful of testimonials, but perhaps if you can have things like case studies, where you show people where they were when they started working with you and to how they ended up their journey, and then the results they were able to achieve. If you've been featured in the media, I would include that on the website. Also, if you've won any awards, or if you have qualifications that you can mention, or perhaps if you've written some articles that have been published either online or in the media, like in newspapers or magazines, that goes a long way to prove your credibility. So that's all the suggestions that I have for you at the moment. Please contact me if you've got any questions.